What a strange year we had in 2024. Rates up and down, but not down enough. Houses sitting on the market for weeks at a time. Well, here in Brooklyn anyway. Dealing with the national real estate rules for agents and brokers, sellers, and yes, especially our buyers. It was definitely a wild year. Hello everyone, Marcia here, your friendly Brooklyn Realtor, bringing you the local scoop on real estate, business, and of course, everything happening right here in Brooklyn. Whether you're buying, selling, or just curious, stick around for a few short minutes while we take a deeper dive into all of it and see what we could expect for the 2025 real estate market. Last year, the Feds kept rates high to fight inflation that didn't help home buyers. Yes, sellers found their homes sitting on the market for longer times, but the home prices did not crash, folks. And home prices are not going to crash anytime soon. The prices in 2024 held steady because inventory was and still is low. Low inventory, more demand, which means higher prices. There is no reason for home prices, especially nowadays when a lot of homeowners have so much equity built up in their homes, for the prices or the homes to crash. Look at this. You see what I mean? Look at all that equity that is built up in homeowners over the past couple of years. So yes, if anybody is in trouble paying their mortgage, basically all they have to do is to sell it to get out of trouble. So the prices didn't crash, and overall foreclosure rates are also low. As you can see from this chart, that all over the country foreclosures are low, including here in the city. What else was notable last year? Some of the housing levels increased supply, and in the fall, right through January, they were not all newly listed homes for sale. Yes, a lot of the homes on the market now are homes that have been on the market for longer than normal, mostly because they were priced too high. You know, we've been spoiled the past couple of years, seasons. We're used to houses selling 2 months the most. Now, last year, because things were so expensive, I don't know about where you live, but I know here in the city, the homes sat for a longer time than they do normally. And I bet, like I said, they were overpriced to begin with. If your property is priced right, no way it is not going to sell in this seller's market that we are in a month or two. So normally, if they're priced right, they go on the market, they get sold right away. Think about that, sellers, when you're pricing your home. You know that a serious backlog is being caused by those lucky people who still have a 2, 3, or even a 4% mortgage. These folks are holding on to their homes even if they wanted to move, just not to give up their low mortgages. And this has really created a listing shortage of homes, especially here in the city and in Brooklyn. Thank goodness the buyers in 2024 that were really serious got creative about their mortgages. A lot of them used rate buy downs, and I remember one of my clients did, and an adjustable rate mortgage also, to make their mortgage deals work. You got to do what you got to do. If you're serious about getting a home, you will find a way to get it. Renters, I don't know how your 2024 was, but generally how it is with rents. They go up, but they never come down. And at the end of the year, what do you have to show for it? Tenants always seem to be on the losing side, in my opinion. Check out this graph here of the tenant's net worth versus a homeowner's net worth. It's a little telling, don't you think? So, what can we expect for 2025? Please, before I forget, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. What can we expect for 2025? Prices may drop a bit here and there, according to what they're saying for the 2025 interest rates. Don't hold out too much hope for a 3% mortgage. Actually, as you can see from the chart, I think 5% or anywhere around 5% would be a good stabilized mortgage rate, and would be glad to see that without all these changes up and down every month. Looking further, I think into 2026, that's when we're going to see the steady rate. And I don't think we'll come down any further than the sixes, the low 60s, until we go out closer to 2026. Year over year prices of homes will stay steady. This graph shows you the home price appreciation. So, like we said before, we're not expecting any crashes, and we could see much more listings if the rates would just drop a little bit, so that these sellers that are stuck with their 2 to 3% mortgages could feel a little more confident in making that move. One other graph I'm going to show you here is where the first-time home buyers really got crashed last year. Normally, their purchasing rate is about 40% a year for new home buyers entering the market, but last year it went down to only 25% that actually purchased a home. They forecast that more Millennials and Gen Zs will be coming into the market, and I personally think that's a wonderful thing. Nothing gives me more joy than seeing young people buy homes. This country is increasingly growing to be about the haves and the have-nots. One of the easiest ways of you to get out of being one of the have-nots category is to purchase a home to live in rather than to rent. Did I say that enough times in this video? So for all my Millennials and Gen Zers out there, call me and I'll give you all the tips. I'll even send you a free book, How to Buy a House in Brooklyn and New York City. If you have any questions about buying your first home, leave a question down below or email me and I will be glad to help you. Nationally, the home building rate is up for 2025. And believe it or not, they say the trend right now is to build smaller homes than what they've been doing traditionally. Smaller, affordable homes to meet the demand of all these young buyers we have coming into the market. I hope it works out for them. That doesn't really work for us here in the city. You know, it's only helpful in places out west, down south, places like Florida and Texas, you know, where they have all that land available. Not for us here in the city and in the suburban areas. Usually we have to build up and there's no way to spread out. Please, another quick reminder, subscribe to our channel and hit that like button so I can get all this good information out to as many people as I can. Now it's 2025. What advice would you give to people in the real estate market? What would you tell buyers and sellers in 2025? I know what I'm telling buyers. Don't wait for a crash. It's not happening. Just accept the new rates, the new market, and find a local real estate person that can help you find and buy your house. Time is going by far too quickly. Every month, every year, you're losing out on equity and a chance to build more wealth for your family. Seriously. Home buyers, check out this graph. I would focus more on the monthly payment costs. And if your budget can afford it, go ahead, especially if you have a partner or can purchase with a family member or friend. Don't wait. Speak with an independent mortgage broker and get some creative financing options. Listen, is 2025 a good time to buy? Here's the bottom line. If your budget can afford it, do everything you can to save that money and buy when it makes sense for you. Seriously. Don't wait too long because those prices just keep raising. Sellers, I wouldn't worry about giving up your 3 and 4% mortgage if that is the reason why you have been waiting to move. Now is the best time to list. If you've been waiting, you can see that the rates more or less have settled into the 6.5 area. And think about all the equity you're going to be gaining from selling your house. Equity that you can put into your next property. So, you know, you're going to come out even. You'll have the cash to put into your next home. So your mortgage is going to be lower. Even though the prices of the mortgage are higher right now, you will need less of a mortgage. So, you know, one thing I've learned is that when it comes to real estate, we have to be flexible. We have to learn how to bob and weave, as we say in Jamaica, bob and weave. And that just means being flexible and taking the best advice, local advice that's available before you make your move. You know, it just does not make sense trying to time the market. This is not the stock market. And those who usually try to time the market before they buy or sell invariably end up losing out on one way or the other. Either you lose on the equity or you lose on the same sale. One thing I've noticed is that buyers are still price and budget conscious, and rightly so. You know, when it was back in 2022 and right after COVID, people were snapping up everything. It's not that way anymore. They're really checking their budgets and checking it twice. And if it is priced right, it will be sold very, very quickly. Sellers, be ready to negotiate, you know. It's a new day, especially with the new national real estate procedures that we have to follow when you're either buying or selling a home. Another thing, sellers, buyers are going to be looking for concessions to help with their closing costs and even mortgage rate buy downs. If you want to sell your home fast, be ready to negotiate with them and give some to gain some. That's how it is in real estate. You just got to give and take. And what's the forecast for Brooklyn and New York City real estate in 2025? I think we are going to see a lot more activity overall in the 2025 market. The national elections are over. We are getting used to the new rates. And we see that the NAR changes are not horrific. You know, they're just changes, and all things have to grow and change in any industry or it's no good. So we're just dealing with the changes and it's not that bad. Here's what the experts say lies ahead. Mortgage rates are projected to come down slightly. Home prices are forecasted to rise in most areas. Well, you know, they raise every year in Brooklyn and New York City. And there will be more homes available for sale. What does this actually mean for you? Let's connect to discuss your 2025 goals. Listen. A local realtor working with you, that's the best advice I can give you. Because the national market might be one thing, but you know, in real estate, it's all local. You have any more questions about the 2025 market? Let's chat. Drop a link below or a comment or call me directly. I'll be here, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with anyone thinking about buying or selling this year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.